You just wrote a big cover story about Alien Isolation.
I got to play it over 2 days. The first day I got the demo and basically had 8 hours to just, at my own pace, from the very beginning of the game to about through chapter 7 to kind of explore and, oh, there's a terminal there, I'm gonna read everything.
Yeah.
It wasn't rushed.
What the hell happened here?
So there are guns in the game, right?
And still people aren't talking about that. People aren't talking about crafting and guns and stuff.
It is not a combat game. And it is almost always a bad idea to use the gun.
It's loud.
It's loud. It's effective against squishy humans. It will make an alien mad. It will make one of the working Joe androids more angry.
They're basically like cheapo discount ashes, aren't they? Like synthetics.
Big time.
Yeah, I like that.
Like
Are they
rubber
kinda-
mask and
They're kind of creepy.
super creepy.
Yeah, like-
their eyes glow and everything. So you got weapons, but I found that I never used them. Like I did obviously just make sure they worked, you know, so it wasn't just like the flag that says bang popped out and then joke's on me. So they do work, they make noise, they will, you can use them to alert everyone where you are, which is generally a bad idea.
Especially when there's an alien involved.
Right. I used the gun very rarely, and at the end of the demo I had like 14 bullets or something like that, and this is after hours and hours of playing and scavenging whenever I could. I mean, supplies are extremely limited for that. So it's, in a lot of ways, it is like old school survival horror.
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
So let's say you're in a situation where you are, you know, super close to the alien and you're almost dead and you decide I'm gonna fire a couple pistol rounds off at it or another weapon. Does it even do anything or?
You might get to see some of their acid for blood and then it's pretty much ripping your face off.
All right. Were you able to use anything, any like offensive measure effectively against the alien?
No.
No. Okay. Maybe there will be. We don't. I mean, if there are those items in the game, or like a weapon, or a flamethrower or something, it might be effective, but you just don't know.
Well, a flamethrower is mostly just like to get it to back off.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's not like it's wearing a cotton pants that are going to burst into flame. I mean, it's kind of like
that's DLC, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, a little jumpsuit. So typically what I would do is I'd use a lot of flares to kind of illuminate your way. You get a flashlight later on, which is a lot better.
The alien care about your flares?
Oh, big time.
Oh,
it's really into it. It's kind of like a laser pointer, and it took me a while because at first I was like, all right, I'm going to throw my flare, and the alien's like, whoosh, and then I would immediately start sprinting. So I mean, it would hear the footsteps and would be like, oh, this flare's really great. I really want to look at. Wait a second. And then it would just chase me down.
So did you use the flare at any point to like divert the alien towards some humans or something like that?
Of course.
Or okay.
Yeah, it's super great because you have the human survivors on Sevastopol Station and they're super skittish, obviously, because there's an alien there. So you come along and they're generally pretty hostile toward you. So you want to avoid them as much as possible too. But if they're blocking a passage, for instance, you can kind of draw them away, or the best thing is to kind of combine both of those little clans together.
Like one of my favorite moments for the Last of Us DLC has a little bit of that kind of stuff in there, and you always feel really clever.
Yes.
And just like, all right, you guys deal with this, I'm out of here. Do you think that Alien will get to those Silent Hill-esque points where you are so kind of tense and like your nerves are so frayed that you just feel like you need to put it down for a while?
I wouldn't say that Alien is super scary, and that it's just really, really tense.
Just like dread, just constant dread.
Constant dread, because you know, like, you'll see the alien just kind of patrolling around and looking, and then it'll like jump into the vent, and you see how like you pull out your motion tracker, and you just see it like doing all kinds of these weird erratic motions.
It's like unreliable, right?
Right, and you don't know, for instance, if something is like on the same vertical plane as you are. So you might be running around trying to find something, and then you see it making a beeline for you, and you're like, oh no, no, and then you're in the hallway and you're expecting it to like turn the corner and there's just nothing there, but it's still coming. Like the way that the save system works, it's purposefully old school, which I think is super great, and that you have to do the manual saves. If you're accustomed to like, hey, there's a cinematic, so it probably did a checkpoint save for me. Don't count on that. You should probably find a save station. So there are times where you know that it's been a while since I've saved, and the alien is somewhere nearby. So it certainly makes things a little more tense than if you have some skin in the game. It will be interesting to see like how people react to the checkpoint system, because I know like Mike Futter got his hands on time with it, and he was pretty down on it. And I was...
Really? What were his criticisms?
Just the fact that it seemed kind of unfair, that you would die so quickly just because the alien is completely meant to be overpowered.
Yeah.
and then you'd have to do a lot of backtracking. And that's fair if you aren't saving.
Sure.
And you just have to get yourself in that mindset immediately that it's worth doing a little bit of exploration. There's kind of like that risk-reward thing. The risk being, well, by exposing more of the map, I'm also making myself vulnerable, but the reward being, hey, I might not have to backtrack like an additional 5-10 minutes.
Hopefully more people are patient in a post-Dark Souls world with that sort of checkpoint stuff. One thing I wanted to ask you about that I thought was really cool is you purposefully watched through Alien right before like diving into this game.
And I would recommend that everyone who's going to play this game, if you're really into Alien and it's been years since you've seen it, you should, the night before, watch Alien. There's the same kind of flavor, like a lot of the same materials. You'll notice like the style of doors to like the little emblems for like the medical bays and everything.
Like Creative Assembly was just like freeze framing every other frame of the movie and just like...
I think they took like graph paper then and...
Probably. I'm really excited for it. The more we've talked about it, and you know, you've had more hands-on time with it, and you're always really pretty blunt about what you think about games, and you've always seemed super positive about this one, so it seems like something that everyone should probably have their eyes on.
It's one that I've seen more of it as we've gone along, obviously, and I continue to be really impressed with it.